Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah.
Can I make you groove now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in a bag of a can. I can make it round the world when the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. 250 flavors. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. The popcorn world.
Hey everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and July is underway and a great month for sports. And if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win money today. With the NBA Finals ending and Major League Baseball heading into the second half of the season, there's plenty of betting action to get involved in. If you're a football bettor, there are tons of future and props you can wager on as well. BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. You got to see the odds for where Damian Lillard is headed. It's amazing. Check it all out. Visit the website today and use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next tip-off, face-off, or pitch, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. It's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. And of course, tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
What's that saying? Breaking down the rumor. I'm smiling now. Speaking for the people who must go around. Taking truth to power. With the whisper and the shout. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Hey yeah. Say it again. Say we're talking noise. Yeah. Talking noise. Really don't have to fool around. Never noise keeps us under. When truth divine. The sound that you hear is the sound of success. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Yeah. Picking up on the sound. We're talking noise. Oh yeah. Talking noise. Share it again. We're talking noise.
Welcome to Talking Noise, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talking Noise himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talking Noise is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talking Noise.
We're talking noise. Talking noise. We're talking
Talking noise. Yeah, man. The show title makes it simple. It's easy to understand once you understand the show title. Talking noise. That's what we do on this show every day. It's good. It's fun. It's wholesome. There are not too many shows where you can talk about STM and Jesus in the same show.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
Every day?
Every single day.
You mean every day?
Every day.
Every day. Okay.
Every day.
What audience is he soliciting every day?
I'm soliciting all the audience.
Welcome, Black Twitter. We do every day.
Every day we gonna be here. Okay, not every day, Monday through Friday.
Talking noise. Talking noise.
Well, Talking Noise is Monday through Friday. The other shows are on Saturday. Okay, not all the other shows. Just know your noise schedule. Find out what your noise schedule is.
Know your noise schedule.
Then you'll be able to see any show you want on this platform.
On this here interweb.
Yeah, on the interweb. Yes. It's good to see everybody. Waving everybody. Black Twitter, I'm waving at you right now. Saying hello. Hello, Black Twitter. Hello. Hello.
I love talking to it like it's a person.
Well, it feels like a person sometimes. I've asked, I can't tell how many times I've been asked by older people, what is Black Twitter?
And is it real or is it a myth?
It is real. It is a real thing.
Yeah, all you gotta do is say the wrong thing.
Say the wrong thing, you'll find out just how real it is. Who are these people coming for my neck?
Miraculously, they've shown up.
I'm telling you. I'm glad to be here with you today. I'm here. Al B's here behind his Tasmanian Devil silhouette. Mama Noise is there looking oh so crispy and delicious, which is what I love about her.
Okay, thank you, dear.
I'm looking pretty crispy today, too. I ain't going to hold you.
You
I
are
was looking
crispy.
so crispy today. I had to Instagram that thing. I was like, good
I
God,
saw
man.
that.
Good God, man, that beard is popping. Woo!
I mean, you are a bona fide zaddy.
I ain't gonna hold you. Not even for 5 seconds. But let me just tell you, all jokes aside, real talk. Let me put it right there in your face.
Just in case.
This morning, I was feeling this. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get it right.
Oh my gosh.
Let me get the batteries right. Sometimes you don't have the batteries right. This is what I was feeling this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Al, why you ain't responding to anything I'm saying right now? I feel like
Oh my gosh.
you're quietly behind the wall.
First of all, I do not wish to be a part of any podcast where the host of the podcast is saying, let me put it in your face.
Did I say put it in your face?
Yes, let me put it right there in your face.
Well, you didn't see it, or
I
else
see
you
what
would
you're
have
saying.
saw.
Nah. I saw him hold his I saw him hold his picture up to the screen.
No. Look, man to man, I get that.
Our podcast listeners don't see that. All they hear is this baritone voice saying, "Let me put it in your face."
I don't think it was that at all.
I hear it now, Al. I didn't hear it at first, but now we're good.
I don't want no parts of that.
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to get the baby, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
Wow. That's gonna be a new word, the baby.
You don't
The baby.
Well, you better stop when you get the baby.
You let me baby you.
Don't get the baby now. You'll mess around and get the baby out here. I got an interesting conversation to start with y'all today. I gotta tell you, I was not expecting this conversation to emerge today, but it is going to emerge because of a series of circumstances that have taken place over the last 12 hours.
Situations, circumstances,
Situations, full on conundrums right now.
Oh,
So happy birthday and shout out to one of my boys, And because I'm going to tell his story, I'm not going to mention his name.
Oh.
Because I don't know if he wants his name out there. But I am going to tell
know my story.
Yeah. But I do want to tell his story because it fits our narrative today. So we're all in this group chat together. And it was his birthday yesterday. And he turned the big 50.
Oh, okay.
He revealed to us that on his birthday, he's about to become, his wife revealed to him that he's going to be a father. And I was like, I'm sorry.
What?
That's what I said. Huh? Her? What? Huh?
Uh-oh.
So I'm like, okay, that's shocking.
That's
But
I don't know how to.
He asked for it.
Oh.
He wanted to be a father.
Is this his first?
This would be his first.
Well, good. Happy. I don't know this individual who it is,
Right.
but congratulations.
Well, I did say congratulations, but I think he's in shock and awe because he got what he asked for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
He
was
got what he
Abram.
prayed
And,
for, he got what he
so was Abram and Sarah. So
Right. Now, same evening, this is yet last night, I got a text message from somebody.
Somebody else.
Yeah, this is a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so frustrated. Well, what are you frustrated about? Because I'm in this relationship and it ain't going the way I thought. And now we got a child together. Huh? Well, where does he stay? He stays with me. Huh? What? But why did he move in? Because I asked him to. Huh? So now I'm putting pieces together. Everybody asks for these things in life.
Mm.
And then when these things come, you go, hold up.
Wow, that's
Like we ask, so it makes you ask the question, what do you want your life to be? What do you want from your life? Like we set these goals, and like how many friends do you have right now that are working in careers and jobs that they despise?
Oh,
They despise
it.
They despise it so much. It's not even what they went to school for.
Mm.
They're just like, yeah, that's where I work.
Yeah.
So what do you want? And even beyond that, how do you get there? It reminded me of the young lady, and I thought I still had the video, but I don't have the video of the young lady that I might still have the video. Now that I think about it, if I go to a certain place on the computer, I might still have the video. Yeah, I do have the video.
Chasing the bag. It's not chasing me.
What did you say?
I'm chasing the bag. It's not chasing me.
Yeah, well, not that video. That's a good one. That definitely fits the narrative of today's show for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that really I think even fits it even more is if I can, it's loading now. It's loading.
Meanwhile, while it loads,
yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got
Wow.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Hey.
That's awesome. Okay, it's loaded. There it is. Remember this video?
Hey man, I'll be back.
Y'all remember that?
I do remember that.
How can we forget?
Now, I wish we could do a follow-up with that couple.
Facts.
Because I would love to know, did she get what she wanted?
Or if they're still a couple.
That's what Mama knows. I just said that.
Yeah, you know, you said if she get what she wanted, I was like, or if they still a couple.
That's the point, Mama Noise. Did she get what she wanted? Did she get what she
got what she wanted?
That's not the same thing, though.
It's exactly
what she
the
wanted
same
was a
thing.
husband. They could still be in a relationship, but unmarried.
Well,
That's why I said
Yeah,
still
yeah.
a couple.
Like if you ask somebody to marry if they don't accept it, do you still get to stay? Like, can you stay together?
I don't think so.
No.
But this,
What you say, Al?
Hell no.
That's what I'm saying. So, what do you want? Like so the country is built on a foundation of pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, right? That's what the Declaration of Independence says, right? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Life, freedom, and the right to be happy.
mm-hmm.
Do we know what that means? Like, how
Did
many
it
of
say
you
the right to be happy is in there?
Well, the pursuit of happiness.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says.
Okay.
So my question to you is all you people that wanted freedom. One of my favorite viral videos, we may show it tomorrow on Black Friday because we're rescheduling the program. We are having our Black Friday, our normal Black Friday tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun. I may show this video tomorrow. I'll find it and show it to you. But there's a lady that says, I am sorely upset because I asked for the adult package so I can stay up past 9 p.m. and I got this thing called bill paying. I didn't want bill paying. She said when I asked to be an adult, I didn't ask for.
Oh, she don't like
bills.
adulting.
I just wanted to be able to stay up past 9 p.m. And she got the full on thing. That girl wanted to be married. She didn't know she was going to have to take care of that dude.
See,
she didn't know he couldn't hold a job, or did she? Like, what do you want from your life? What do you want?
Oh my gosh.
So that's the question I'm asking today. What do you want from your life? And how do you get it? How do you get it? How do you make the steps or put the most things in motion to get what you want out of life? Start, Mama Noise. I know you got thoughts and questions. And
how did you get it? Oh, how do you get it?
How do you get it? What do you want? How do you get it?
I don't know. I've got so many stories that I've, so many news articles and stuff rolling around in my head. It's hard for me to reel it in.
Start with it. Let's just go from there.
Well, the one that I read most recently was in Essence magazine, where the woman said she kept having such she wasn't having success in relationships, and she decided that she's going to take time and get herself together. But then at the same time, she said she was willing her husband to her. She willed him. She willed him to her. And put it out there in the universe. And after she got herself together, because she said she had to start with self, then she was on Instagram.
Okay.
And, she all of a sudden got in contact with this Nigerian brother. And, she felt like that she had met her husband.
Okay.
And then he said, because you read the whole story, he said that he was wanting to be married.
Okay.
And so he wanted to be married so badly that when he was out shopping, he passed by a jewelry store and he saw the diamond ring he wants to see on his wife, and he put it in, put a deposit on it in preparation for his wife. And so then they just happened to meet on Instagram. And then they just happened to they got married.
They fell in love.
They
just happened to have the ring he needed.
I mean, but see, he said he did that before he met her on Instagram. He said she got her life together before she met him on Instagram. And they
so there might be something to that. In order to get what you want, you have to prepare for what you want.
Well,
that's what you said.
A lot of different cultures have it where cultures, and even in the Bible, that there's a preparation period like Esther, when she had the preparation period before being married to King Xerxes. Other cultures are, they fathers want their daughters to be married, so they, it's a process, preparation. So I don't know about the willing yourself to your husband part.
But I think what lesson could be taken from that is she said, I want to be married. So in order to be married, I need to prepare myself for marriage.
Okay.
I think, let me tell you something. Preparation is magnetizing.
Unpack that, if you will.
So the more prepared you are for something, the more things will come to you, I think.
Okay.
Like if you are prepared to be, so for example, I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
You've been saving all this money to buy into a business or buy an opportunity of something to make you money. And so you just save it. You save it, you save it, you save it, or you put it aside, or you say, I'm gonna be aggressive in my 401k, or I'm gonna be aggressive in my 50 whatever my money is on the stock market, whatever it is. So you do that, and it grows and it grows and it grows. Now the perfect business or the business that you want comes along. Well, you're ready to buy that because you prepared yourself. You prepared yourself for that moment. You honed in your skills as an actor. You honed in your skills as a singer. You honed in your skills as a writer. You honed in your skills as a businessman or as a manager. You've been working on yourself to be more, have the ability to listen or have the ability to understand. You've learned the business that you're working so that when the promotion comes, you're ready when the promotion comes. I think preparation draws you into opportunity.
Okay.
I think the more prepared you are, the more opportunity can come your way. But I think when you're not prepared, you don't know how to seize the opportunity, or you don't even recognize that the opportunity is in front of you.
Okay.
Thank you, Derek. It's always nice to get the co-sign of the smart people.
Of the thought engineer.
Right? No, but seriously though, I don't know if you can get opportunity without preparation. At least, or more importantly, I don't know if you can take advantage of great opportunities without preparation. And I think we always try to put it the opposite way. We want the opportunity without being prepared.
That's true.
Do y'all have friends that blew marriages because they weren't properly prepared for those marriages?
I will say yes. And I only say yes because of a couple of things, but I'll just say one is because of they didn't thoroughly understand the past of the person that they married.
Yeah.
And seeing that this person that they married had been married before and the same cycle was continuing. Right. But if you're not willing to do the work and invest in what it takes to be married to somebody with that type of past, then it's not.
I would venture to say most people, this is a gross assumption that I'm making, but I'm gonna make it anyway.
All right.
Most people get married without preparation.
Well,
in some area. Like, I'm not saying it's all one area. I'm saying in some area. Like, either they're not mentally prepared, or they're not spiritually prepared, or they're not emotionally prepared, they're not psychologically prepared, or they're not financially prepared. Matter of fact, we're not even really taught, most of us, that we should be prepared in all of those areas.
Right.
Like, all the way across the board, we should have a level of balance in all of those areas. Most of us is just like, I love her. Yeah. I love him. He's my boo thing.
Yeah. And so everything else will just work itself out.
It'll work itself out.
Love will keep us together.
Hey,
So not true.
Wow.
why you say it's not true?
It takes more than love.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, you know what? And boy, I wish you'd have said Derek DeLink. I wish he had time. Derek, let me know if you got time. I'd love to have you on. Dave Bell says married because they had to get out work together for a funeral. That's hilarious. They had to get out work together for a funeral. You know, it bothers me that we are not teaching that more across the board to young people. Because I think young people, I'll give you a perfect example of that. That statement that we just made about being prepared in every area is the reality that almost killed Cardi B's marriage. Here we got two people under the age of 30, barely 25, that get married. They have money, they have fame, they have notoriety, they don't have any leveled examples, and they're just out there. And this dude got married. Let me tell you how bad his lack of preparation was. It was so bad that when he was about to lose his wife, he busted in on her concert and walked out on the stage to try to save his marriage. Now, first of all, I ain't mad at you. Because if you're feeling that level of desperation, damn it, do what you got to do.
Ain't that what happens in all the movies?
It was a movie-like situation. You're right. He said, I don't care. I love you. And I want to say, he Jennifer Holiday'd her at her own concert.
And I am telling you.
Well, he's a rapper. He's a rapper, though. He didn't. Well, I'm telling you. I'm not going.
No, you said that like Julia.
Julia. That's the way I could never go.
Yeah, I ain't going. I'm staying. I ain't.
Right, he's the Migos, so he got to throw some stuff. I ain't leaving you. I ain't gonna leave you no more. Skirt, skirt.
No,
you ain't gonna walk out that door. Skirt, skirt.
Oh Lord.
I'm just saying we don't be prepared for these moments, and so they come and they tear us apart, and we miss the opportunities, or we blow the opportunity, or we can never even take advantage of the opportunity. Let me tell you something. I know for the most part, every interview I've ever been on, whether or not I'm gonna get the job or not, when I walk out the door.
Oh,
every single one. I went to interview for a job one time that it was a huge opportunity. It was like a few $100,000, and it came down, and they let me know, sir, you are one of the finalists for this job. It's down to you and another lady. I walked into the room. And now I interviewed initially with this guy who ran the department. And I was like, okay. So we hit it off, and he liked me. I liked him. We hit it off, whatever. So he said, well, you got one interview left. That'll be with the team. And it'll be between you and another lady, and we'll see how it goes. I said, oh, okay, great. I walked in, and there were all women sitting at the table. And I was like, yep, I'm not getting this one.
But you know what? I don't know if that's true.
It was true that day.
I'm saying I've been in a conference room where our whole staff was asked to be in the room when the interviewing was coming to pass with who the possible person was.
Okay.
And one woman came in there. Okay, first of all, I am a peculiar individual, so I'm listening, but I'm not listening. I'm looking at her, I'm listening, but I'm really, I'm trying to take it all in.
Right.
And so they were listening as well. Everybody's listening, and we had some guys come in there. We was like, okay, we got all these women in our office. We do need a guy in our office. But when the lady came in that they did choose, she was horrible. So if they chose on gender, they set themselves up.
What part did I say that you said wasn't true?
We knew that we needed to have a man in the office, not just because, we're going to choose her because she's a woman.
Okay.
The woman that so if they said, okay, well, we're going to choose this, they did choose a woman, but they didn't, but the woman they chose was horrible. So it was like, okay, did you just choose it for the gender, or because the guy was very qualified? You were, I'm sure, overly qualified for your position.
Well, and then here's the other part. And I'm not saying I don't know the woman, so I don't know if she was qualified or not. I don't know anything about her. I'm assuming that she was because she got down to the final interview. And she may have been more qualified than me. But when they started asking questions in the interview, those questions were very feminine in nature.
Oh.
So I knew very early on, I'm not getting this job.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you something I will never forget is that same interview that I was a part of. The woman said, well, who will my subordinates be?
Yep.
And I said, hell no. If she's talking about who is her subordinates gonna be already, and furthermore, she's in the same position we're in. So who are your subordinates supposed to be?
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know right there. But you know what? It ended up being a blessing in disguise, my situation. Because through a series of events, it helped me end up here. So I'm okay. But my point is that I don't know if we know or we understand that these events that unfold in our lives, are we ready? Do we understand how they're unfolding? Is that what we want? Like I thought for sure that's what I wanted. Well, if I'm being honest, and I always try to be honest on this show, I saw that paycheck and was like, well, that's what I want. When he was explaining the job to me, when the guy was explaining what I would have to do, I really didn't want to do that. Because it required a lot of traveling across the country and staying in hotels weeks at a time and all these different things. And I was thinking to myself, I really don't want to do this.
That's a massive
for this amount of money, I would do it.
I was like, that's a massive
not what I really
sacrifice.
want to do. Well, but see, that's the point. What is guiding us to what we want in life? Is the theory of what we want guiding us, or the reality of what we want guiding us? The theory was guiding me in that point. I'm saying, well, with this amount of money, I can do this, I can do that, I can make this change in my life, I can provide this for my family, this, that, and the other. Now, I'd have been miserable the whole time. The whole time. I'd have been sitting in hotel rooms, pissed off, because I'm like, I'm doing this job. Yeah, I'm being paid tremendously well, but I hate this job. They did me a favor.
I would venture to say it's the theory. More often than not, it is the theory and not the reality. Likewise, it is also more often than not that we are not in position to receive the opportunities in front of us. Either we're not in, and the reason we're not in position, position is and prepared in this instance is the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's just loosely, but we're not in position because either we don't have the skills, the tools, or the wherewithal to identify the opportunity, or same three categories we can't act upon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So more often than not, we, like, Derek said, and you said, and Mama Noise said, we're not prepared for these opportunities. So we can have an idea. We can have, like, I want to be financially independent. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? To me, it means no mortgage, no car note, no debt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to be surrounded with honest people, not just honest, but loyal. So now it's how do you go about doing that? How do I go about obtaining the knowledge, the skill set to put myself in a position or to prepare myself to be financially independent?
Wow. I want to piggyback on what you just said. You said a lot right there, and I 1,000% agree with everything you just said. I want to piggyback on it by saying this. In addition to what Al just said, for those of us who, or those who are quote unquote prepared, what are you prepared for? That's the other thing. See, I thought I was going to take all those skills that job required that I possessed and use them for that job. When the truth of the matter is, I'm supposed to be taking all those skills and using it for what I'm doing right now.
I'll use me as an example.
Yeah.
I always thought, I was a people person. Yeah, I don't need to be out here pumping fuel and counting parts and tagging, inventory. I need an office job, talking to people, dealing with the customer.
Yeah.
And I was miserable for 17 years.
Wow.
I was in a job that I did not like for nearly half of my life. 24 years.
Wow.
Wow. I wasn't aware of what I really, you know what I mean?
No,
what I really wanted.
1,000% know what you mean. Because I was in a job that I was in for half of my life, doing stuff that that I was great at. That's the thing. The danger is you're great at it. I'm trying not to reveal too much of the book, but this is kind of too good not to reveal. There's a part in the book that you're going to love that he talks about the excellence box, where you are good at this thing. And everybody knows how good you are. And you're doing it, but it's not your genius.
Oh, God.
So now you're stuck in this doing this good thing that everybody appreciates you doing, and it's not what you are born to do. It's not your greatest creative place. And I'm telling you, I was in that box for 20 years, killing it.
When I worked in education, I'm going to tell you, I would wake up in the morning and get this feeling down my spine.
Your whole spine, huh?
My spine that would make me feel like it was a weight on my spine that was like, here, I got to go in here again. And I knew, it had the accolade of you work in education, and education's got great benefits. They get summers off and Christmas break and, those type of things. But my spirit was weighed down. I would come through I was so tired of being, belittled. It was so bad that, we didn't even get invited to the meetings. It would be like, no, we get invited to the meetings, but they say, you know what? Y'all don't have to stay because this really doesn't apply to y'all. And we'd be like, okay, so you only want us around when you can't handle the kids. You can't handle them, whatever. And so then that's when my youth ministry kicked in, pastor kicked in, all the things that I've done, children's church kicked in. So I could handle the children.
Yeah.
But it was like, but other than that, you don't respect me as an adult. An intelligent adult. And I just felt like that's why when Gay came on the show, I was like, man, I am in this job where I know I am capable of doing so much more. I'm so tired of sitting in staff meetings where teachers are talking about they're going to Cabo to have their bikini butt out and stuff. I'm sitting there going, Lord, when do I get to go to Cabo? When do I get to go to Mexico? Like, well, when you get tired of sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Let me ask you a question. This is just for personal reference. So you are ready to go to Cabo to have your butt out. I just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
No. They went to Cabo with their bikini butts out. She's going to Cabo.
Right, Cabo. Where Cabo or Cabo? Are you ready to have your butt out is my question.
Oh, I'll put my butt out.
Oh, Lord.
Hallelujah. Oh, y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Let me get my bikini.
Hello, Airlines. Yes.
Note to self: do not go to Cabo with.
I'm just like, I know there's so much more to my life than always sitting around watching other folks. And I'm not saying I'm jealous of them. I'm just saying I have the potential. But I know what I'm capable of.
Deeper than that, though, because I'm a brag on you and kind of mess with you here all at the same time.
I agree with you, Brother Bill.
Yeah, no, we put them butts out. It's too late.
You and your wife had butts out on the beach in Malibu. I don't want to hear
it. Listen, you are so gifted and talented that it's even worse than just not being valued. It's placing your gift in the hands of someone who is spending it on stuff that doesn't. How can I say? I'm saying it wrong. You're more valuable than the place you've placed the gift in. So, in other words, you're saying, "Well, you're good at your job. That's great that you're good at your job." But the problem is, good over here is transcended over here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, LeBron could probably play football. He'd probably be good at football.
Allen Iverson.
Iverson
would have been better at football than basketball.
Listen, Allen Iverson was an all-state football player and got D1 scholarships to play football. But he's a Hall of Fame basketball player.
Yeah.
You can have a skill set that's great. Let me tell you something. Kobe Bryant walked off the basketball court and won an Oscar.
Yeah.
But that don't mean he was going to keep winning Oscars. He won an Oscar because he was great at basketball. So what if he'd have decided when he was 18, I'm going to be great at this thing. Now, he might be good at that thing, but he'll be forever remembered as one of the greatest basketball players to ever play the game. So you can give your gift to something, and here's this is the not chastisement, but correctional point, if you will, because I had to correct myself with it. I'm expecting the thing I gave my gift to give me the validation of that gift back. But the truth of the matter is, the gift didn't belong over there in the first place.
Wow.
So that's not their fault. That's my fault. That's my fault for putting my gift in a place that it shouldn't have been in the first place.
Right. And to ride the wave on what the thought engineer just said, just scanning the book. I've yet to read it, but I have scanned it, and immediately what jumped out to me was a heading or a line that said, "Good fortune catches or chases genius."
Chases.
Or something about your being in your genius kind of attracts good fortune.
It attracts good fortune, right? That's exactly right.
So and that plays on what Derek said, what Mama Noise, and what you just said about Mama Noise. You have to put yourself in a position. You have to be in your genius, not using your genius like Sean Saunders said. He's using his skill set for that job that he's not happy in. You have to use your genius for you, and then good fortune, Cabo, with a cover up, will come your way.
Look, Al, you float on the beach with your leopard. That's what he's saying. Okay. Shout out to DC Cockrell. We got to do a follow-up.
Yeah, but man, I want to touch base with you, brother DC.
Yeah, so we got to catch up with you. But you're 1,000% correct. We want the validation, or I'll even say it this way. This is probably a little more aggressive, but I'll say it. We get addicted to the validation and think that the validation is the reward, when the true reward is when we're being chased by what you just said in our genius. That we won't listen. The validation should be us defining ourselves, not somebody else defining us. us saying, I'm great at this thing. And here's the thing, and I've used this example many, many, many times. The beauty of going platinum as a singer is that there are 8 billion people in the world. You don't have to make 8 billion people like you to go platinum. You just have to attract your own million. And here's what's amazing about that. Everybody we like all kinds of things in this world.
Yeah.
So Mama Noise and I watched the documentary that Mary J. Blige just released, My Life. It was really good. I got down. It was really, really good. One thing that Mary J. Blige has always been is she's been really transparent about who and what she is. And she talks about her flaws, and she talks about her mistakes, and she talks about the issues she's gone through. And I mean, she's just been transparent about those things. Well, one thing that made this powerful is that Mary J. Blige knows that she has a group of women, primarily women, that she's talking to.
Oh, man.
They love her, and they rock with her. Millions of women. She's not everybody's cup of tea, but she ain't trying to be. She's trying to talk to her audience. And what she says in the video is, to y'all who have been rocking with me since day one, who have been with me since 411 and My Life and Mary and No More Drama and all that stuff, I love y'all.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I heard her say always, I love. I miss the y'all. The y'all was the part I should have been focusing on, because the y'all says, this is my group that I've been called to. And I'm gonna serve them and give them what they need.
Yeah.
And in return, my genius to them, because everybody's not gonna think you're a genius.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't think you're a genius. But my genius to them makes them say, we got your back. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want from your life?
Well,
what do you want? And I've gotten to that place in me now that I've decided I want to flow in my genius every single day of my life.
Well,
that's what I want.
I think, I don't know. I have to go back to that time that even when school was about to, I know we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it, the part really hit when school was coming back in session last fall as to what was going to be we went to all virtual or whatever. But I'm telling you, before we full-time put this company in motion, my whole body would take on the weight of, you gotta go back in there. I mean, it's like it was overwhelming.
Okay, but now what does your body do now? We can focus on that, but let me ask you a question. What do you want from your I got that you were miserable. Now okay. What do you want?
Now I want to write my books.
Well, you're already on that path.
And talking with Gay on last week about, my creativity. And when I stand back and take the deep breaths and really have my mind clear and see that I've been seeing all these things all along, the different songs, the different poems, the different books and stuff. I've been seeing those things all along, but it's just been like, maybe at some point in my life, I'll make time to give myself to those things.
In your life? What does that mean?
But that's what I thought. I was like, at some point, I'll get time to do that. But right now,
I see you drifted over back into the negative thoughts. So now I'm bringing you back. What do you want your life to be? We're having a real session here right now in real time.
Oh my God!
You are the example that I'm using for everybody else to gauge off of.
Why you ain't use Al?
I'm great. Well, he's looking at the book right now. I'm gonna get back to him in a second. What do you want right now? What are you doing? You typing? Al, we see you typing. Literally. Go ahead, Mama Noise. What do you want? You're muted, Al. You're muted.
I'm not supposed to be in the room same time Mama Noise on the couch. So
you know what?
I'm outside the room. So
that's just
we go pull him in.
But no, you know, and then you can go right back into it.
Yeah.
You know, she said, you know, her desire. You got to be emotionally prepared as well. So she sounds like she wasn't emotionally prepared to start this journey with the books. And I did know she said books.
Right, plural. Right.
Well,
Okay.
because okay, like, because Lloyd's gonna start, you know, Operation Positivity. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Well, I got to get myself emotionally prepared for the books.
I hear what you're saying.
Because I don't even know where to start because there's so much information. And I'm trying to determine if this is, I don't know if I want to write my story or just chunks of certain stories or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because then when I hear you talk about that Lola chick and how she just put a couple of things on Twitter that time and then it just blew up into a movie when all she did was put what actually happened. Well, I got plenty of what actually happened.
Right.
But is that something that, you know, because it takes a lot.
I think if you can permit me to say this, I think that's the wrong approach.
Oh.
Because you trying to figure out what people are going to receive is going to keep you from writing the honest book.
Okay.
Your emotional preparedness has nothing to do with what people are going to think about it. Your emotional preparedness is you saying, am I in myself ready to define myself by myself? And what I want to put on these pages. That's what it is. And
say it again.
Your emotional preparedness is how I want to define myself, for myself, by myself.
Oh.
Even our book is not necessarily completely you defining yourself by yourself. Because you tell your version in the book and I tell my version of the events, and then it comes together. But your book is different. Your book is not my perspective. It's your perspective. And that's the only perspective for that book that matters. Because it's written from your perspective. And that's why Derek Merchant's comment, which most of us missed in The Best Man.
Oh, yeah.
Most of us don't even remember the scene. I remember the scene vividly because I was stunned by the statement. Because he was talking to the stripper, Regina Hall's character, and she was walking back to the car, and she's like, well, I'll get with you later. And you know, I can't stay now, you know, but thank you for being a nice guy and not being a jerk and whatever. And he said, you're right, because if you don't define yourself for yourself, you'll be crushed up into other people's perception of you and you'll be eaten alive. He was trying to let her know that I see you. And that statement is the statement that I'm trying to help you understand, that I see you. But I can't define you. I don't have the right to define you, because you have to define you and decide who you are and who you want to be, and then write for what you want to say. And then don't worry about the audience. The audience, it's amazing to me. The albums that I'm the most attracted to in my life, and it's perfect time because Uncle Noise just showed up. The albums that I've been most attracted to, the stories that I've been most attracted to, the movies that I've been most attracted to, the preachers that I'm most attracted to are the ones who are authentically themselves. I'm not a fan of. This sounds horrible, but it's just my truth. I'm not a fan of the copycat artist, or I'm not a fan of the cookie cutter artist. I think that's my disconnect with Drake. That's my disconnect, because it feels like you found a formula and you will ride that formula to the end. Well, that might make for a great beat and an interesting song, but not a song that I'm going to look to as transparent and transformative, and it's not going to make me, excited.
Okay.
But now I'm going to brag on Uncle a little bit. But when I hear you say the stain never goes away, and I watch you sing it, and the passion and the depth of what I'm hearing come out of you, now you got my attention. I think that's what made me attracted. No, I can't say that. I think that's what made me appreciate Prince, because everything it felt like he was doing came from a real place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't feel like a formula. It just felt like in this moment, I wanted to say this thing because this is what I was feeling. And that's why I think I always liked Prince a little bit more than I like Michael, because Thriller is a contrived thing. It's phenomenal. It's amazing, but it's not impactful to me. It's an amazing performance. And I can't take that away from him. And there's a place in the world for that.
Right.
But what connects me and drives me is authenticity. And when I listen to Prince, I go, listen, you've never heard a Prince song and thought, man, he sounds like such and such. Now, you heard a Prince song was like, oh, that's Prince.
Yeah.
There is no comparison. I've never heard anybody compare Prince to anybody. I've heard Michael be compared to James Brown and just so many artists. But they always say, but Michael's the best. Well,
but Prince, they had to compare James Brown to Prince.
Well, they don't have to.
I'm saying, I think you said he can't be compared to. Nobody compares him to somebody.
Well, who would you? Where would you even start comparing Prince to anybody?
Well, Prince.
Well,
Prince initially was compared to Sly Stone, though. That's who all the critics.
The critics did, right?
Compared him to musically because of what he was doing and everything, and because of what he embodied.
But I think that happens because we're all uncomfortable with people being outside the box. Just like Gay said last week. The instructions of being outside the box on the inside of the box. So because we're all on the inside of the box, without the instructions, we'd be like, well, he's got to be this because we're all in the box. And that's what makes sense. Until he gets out of the box. And then you're going, oh, well, he's not that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say for you, Mama Noise, it starts with you. You can't worry about what a person is going to think about. You know what, Vera Wang, I've never heard Vera Wang say, man, I was really trying to impress these people with this dress I made.
That's true.
She designs the dress. She hands it to the client. She says, "This is based on what you told me. This is what I came up with. Have a nice day."
They always say they want a Vera Wang original.
But that's my point. But that's my point. Vera Wang is never like, once she finished designing the dress and turns it over to you, she's like, "Well, listen,
you get what you get.
You pay the check, make the check out to Vera Wang. Let's move on." And she don't worry about it.
Right.
But I think that's a different world, though, unto itself. When you start talking about fashion, most times you can't get away being copycat. Unless you're some bootleg dude, selling on the streets or whatever, but you can't get away being copycat in fashion.
Well, actually you can. That's why after the Met, every year, there's somebody that comes along and makes the exact copycat of the things that were made at the Met. Now, you don't get it ahead of time, but after they done had the Met showing, everybody's seen it, then they come out with the cheaper version, and that's the copycat.
Right.
Well, that's kind of the clone, though. Isn't there a difference?
Well, no, I think we're saying the same thing. Go ahead, Al.
I was just going to say it's all really perception if you think about it,
Right.
because I can give you an example of a company. They make jerseys for the backwards, funny-looking check symbol company. But you can reach out directly to this company and get the exact jersey that the backwards, funny-looking check company sells for $45. You can order directly from this company, same material, same design, for $7.99, $8.99.
Wow.
But the perception is this, big name brand
Right.
is better than this,
Right.
made by the same people.
I'm telling you, if truth be told, right after the Met, they already know that those originals and stuff are going to be copied and made cheaper. It's no different than a lot of that stuff that we all that stuff. I'm gonna just speak for myself. All of that stuff I used to get from down at Hamim's, and I know that stuff was I know it still wasn't the real thing, but it sure looked like it.
Yeah. But I guess going back to the original point, I think Mama Noise, you gotta make it up in your mind.
Okay.
What you want this journey for you to be creatively. Creatively? Creatively. I don't know what creatively is not a word.
Jesse Jackson?
I don't know what just happened.
Make it up word.
Right. I don't know what just happened right there. I just had a brain freeze. Creatively. You gotta decide what you want that journey to be. And then just rest in that. And maybe you will cry during the writing. Maybe you will get angry during the writing. Maybe you will get, I don't know if preparedness, if you're thinking preparedness of emotion means that you have to reconcile them, I think you're gonna keep yourself from writing a great book.
Yeah.
I think preparedness means you're deciding that whatever happens when I write, I'm okay with that.
You're open, willing to be transparent.
Yeah.
Even with the book that we just finished.
Right.
That book,
it stirred some stuff.
I was gonna say it has.
Stuff.
I can't say that it was no problem. Oh, it was.
It was. We had to pause a few days and be like,
take some breaks in between and realize that.
Let's sit in this for a minute.
I'm struggling.
Yeah,
I'm struggling with having to, because I almost relive it so that I can.
Full transparency. I asked in us putting this book together, I had to ask Mama Noise several times, do you want to say this? Do you want to tell this truth? Because once it's out there, it's out there. And that's both of us. And I had to, even with my own stuff, I'm going, do I really want to talk about this? But I recognize that my talking about it not only helps somebody else, that's the byproduct. But the first thing it does is that it sets me free from it. Here's one of the things I've learned about people overcoming trauma. The surest indication that a person is starting to reconcile their trauma is their ability to discuss it. Yeah, when they can't discuss it still, when it still grabs them and the emotion and the breathing and the whole thing starts to, they're not ready. They have not completely transitioned through that trauma yet. Mama Noise, I'm going to ask a question of you today, and you feel free to say no.
Okay.
But am I allowed to share the dream that I had this morning?
No. Go ahead.
Okay, if you say no. I'm not going to go all the way in depth about your part, but just the dream itself.
Yes.
I can share it?
Yes. Hush,
Okay.
Alan Brown.
Hell no.
No. It's not anything bad. It's really not anything
It
bad.
wasn't that kind of drink.
No. No. I would never share that dream.
Yeah, you share everything else.
I would
But
act
anyway,
out in
we
Cabo.
digress.
I would act out in Cabo we could do that, like you said earlier. Okay. All right. Now, so this morning I had a dream.
Yeah.
And it was a weird dream.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the car with Mama Noise and some other people, and they were driving us around, and we were going to get something to eat, and we had to wait on somebody. And they were like, well, let's go to the west side of Plano. We're going to have to go to this big fancy restaurant. We're going to all sit in the restaurant and have food. I was like, okay. So, and we called the person. They said, let's meet them over there at the restaurant. So we waited for the person to do some things, and then they got to the restaurant, and we sat in this private room. And I was like, okay. And so I don't know what made this conversation come to the forefront in the room, but I said in the room, I said, guys, or I told one of the people in the room, I said, pull out the elements of your purse. And she pulled out like 4 different hand sanitizers and 3 different hand lotions, and laid them out on the table. And I said, why do you have all this stuff? She said, well, I'm trying to get this thing off my hand. And I said, well, why don't you wash your hands? Just go wash your hands. You're trying to get whatever it is on your hands off. The easiest and most surefire way to get it off is with an antibacterial soap and get it off and wash your hands. Well, yeah, but I want to get it off right now. And then I woke up. Mm-hmm. Now, full disclosure, from time to time, God will allow me to interpret these dreams and see elements of the dream in its truth. So when I saw the elements of the dream, I realized what God was saying. The sanitizer represents the quick fix. You can pump it, get on your hands, and you think you got it all, but you really don't.
Right.
If you've ever got anything that smells on your hands, sanitizer does it. Sanitizer kills the germs, but it doesn't kill the scent or the depth of the odor. So that doesn't fix it. Lotion masks the smell, but it doesn't get rid of what it is.
Right.
The only thing that truly gets rid of it is the work of washing your hands. And that was the dream. We want our trauma to be eliminated quickly.
Okay.
When the truth of the matter is that trauma has to be worked through. They say you're supposed to wash your hands 25 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? To truly get them clean.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, that burden of washing our hands 25 seconds is, man, I got to go in there and stand there for 25 seconds. 1 second, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. No, just go wash your hands, right? But we don't want to do the actual work. The next thing the guy kind of showed me was like, okay, well, why do you take your car to get your car washed? Because you want to get it washed quickly. But most of us, if you're like me, because I'm kind of a detail person, when I leave the car wash, I'm content. Well, no, I think the word is satisfied but not content. I think it's that way. You know, it's when you said, okay, I'm okay with what they did, but I don't love what they did. What's that? What words are those? Like they didn't do it the way I would have done it, but I'm okay with the whatever they did. Or not okay with it.
You're unsatisfied. What is happening?
I'm not satisfied, right? But I will tolerate it. Maybe is that the word I'm looking for? Somebody can help me.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like you finished it, or it's finished, but you know it's not what it could have been.
Yeah, you said it. You tolerate.
So it's unsatisfactory, but
overall it is. But I'm not going to complain because it's like I didn't have to do it, so whatever.
I'm glad you're sharing this information, so now I know. Because
the truth of the matter is, I know that I can wash it better than that.
It explains a lot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, but the reason why I take it to them is because I don't want to have to do all the work. that
yeah,
I
but
know
if
it
you can't get
requires.
them to give you exactly what you want, what is the point?
And that's the point of what I'm saying. Why are we taking shortcuts to get to where we truly want to be?
Okay.
That's we want mental, emotional, psychological, and spiritual freedom. But we keep taking all of these shortcut directions to try to do it, to try to get it. Let me buy my way to freedom, happiness. Let me, if I buy enough gift, I'll be happy. If I go do this thing, I'll be happy. How many artists have achieved platinum status, Grammy Awards, whatever, bestseller list, whatever? Let me tell you something. My pastor preached his last sermon that he preached on Netflix. The long, hours long special is what I'm talking about, not like the 8:46 or the 15 minutes, but the hour long. He started the sermon by saying, let us not forget that Anthony Bourdain committed suicide because he hated his job. What was his job? Traveling the world, meeting interesting people, and eating interesting foods. That was his job, and he hated it.
Did he hate it?
Apparently, he committed suicide.
I don't know. When Dave gave that, it sounded like he was trying to say something without saying something.
He was trying to say something without saying something. He was trying to simply say what we're saying now, is that you cannot mask trauma. You can't sanitize trauma. Eddie had this great job that made it look like he was on top of the world. When the truth of the matter is, he was miserable and hurting every single day of his life. So you got to ask yourself, what do you want out of life? Do you want the grand success and to say that you did it and say that you accomplished it? Or do you want peace?
Why did he just stop doing it? Why didn't he just do something else? And was he that unhappy? Because when I watched it, I was like, Dave knows something that he don't want to say. But I'm sitting there going, was this man unhappy? Because I'm saying somebody who's
you don't commit suicide. You don't commit suicide because you're thrilled about it.
Well, I thought they said happy people don't.
Happy people don't what? Commit
happy
suicide?
People. No, what is it? No, what's the
saying?
saying?
You threw me on that one.
Happy people don't commit suicide.
I've never heard that.
I've heard that before.
That happy people don't commit suicide?
Right.
Wow, I've never heard that.
Well,
I've heard that.
In a way, it makes sense, but I'm thinking there's another word for it as opposed to happy.
Okay.
I would say that. There's probably a better word for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking this man is living his best life.
It doesn't seem like on the surface, from the outside looking in.
What was he doing before he was doing that?
If you told me that
he was a chef. He was a chef.
Right.
Well-known, extremely well-known chef.
Yeah. If you told me prior to that moment that, I'm trying to think of an example without being too offensive, although it's probably going to come across offensive no matter what. If you told me that Demi Lovato committed suicide, I would not be shocked. Because she's been struggling. She's been publicly struggling for a long time.
And she let everybody know she's struggling.
And she let everybody know she's struggling. So that would not shock me. Anthony Bourdain committing suicide was a shock to me. Like, really? You're miserable? Because the comparison that Pastor Dave said was he had a friend who was in Columbia Law School that was on his way to becoming this big-time lawyer, but then fell in love with this girl, and the girl broke his heart and took half his money, and now he's a manager at a Foot Locker. He said, if anybody ought to be the candidate for suicide, it should be this guy.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I think, first of all, the word happy doesn't necessarily hold true, but there's a state of mind that in each one of those instances that have obviously not been reached to the point that they are, again, the word I'm looking for, but they are to the point with their life to where they're satisfied enough with their life to keep on living. Because to me, the thing with Anthony Bourdain is It reminds me of Robin Williams.
Yes.
Um,
That's another great example.
and the problem with depressed people is they're incredible actors. They're usually amazing actors. They can act as though they're happy.
They're fine. Yeah.
And you'll never know. You'll never see the depth of the depression that they're in.
And oftentimes their success mirrors their acting ability. So in addition to him publicly giving you that, hey, I'm great, everything's wonderful, he has an Oscar. He has an Emmy.
Right.
He has a lot of money. He's got a lot of prestige. He's well respected in the community. So it looks like this guy can't be a candidate for unhappiness. But the problem is happiness is an addictive emotion.
Yeah.
And if you chase it, and just like you would any other drug, what happens when you can't find the drug?
See, that's the thing is like, I think what we're looking at is, are you happy or do you have joy? Do you have joy in your life? Do you have joy in your relationships? Is your life joyful? You know what I'm saying? I think that's what you're looking for, because happy is fleeting. It's any second, any moment, but you can be joyful in a really dark time and still have joy.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why somebody would not just leave. If it's a relationship you're in that's causing you to be suicidal, why won't you just leave?
Well,
and go somewhere else and find the happiness that you want instead of staying in that.
Sometimes
you're not prepared to walk away.
Yeah. And sometimes the pit itself is so much deeper than walking away. You know, it's what am I walking to? What am I, we've all seen people who are in really horrible relationships. I mean, horrible. And you go, man, just leave. You say to your girlfriend, or, you should get out of that. Come on now, this is terrible. This guy treats you, he's beating you, and she stays.
Is it easier for a man to walk away?
I don't think it matters.
I think see, here's the problem. What you know versus what you don't know is the issue.
I'll even take that wonderful statement a step further. What you know about who you are and what you want your life to be will decide whether you walk away or not.
Yeah.
What do you want your life to be?
I've been in situations where I felt like I wasn't worthy of the next step. The next, whatever the next step was, if it was a better relationship, if it was a better job, if it was I wasn't worthy of it, because I felt like sooner or later they're gonna find out you know what I'm saying, I'm not what people think I am. And I lived like that. Yeah. And I know so many people that live that way. They're not free of that. We talked about this the other day. What other people think of you. Yeah. Their perception of you is what you base your existence on.
And that reality is normally what guides our thoughts and our decisions. What are they going to think? What is society? Let me tell you something. This is as transparent as I can get today. You know why men wear clothes? You know why women wear clothes? You know why we all wear clothes? Because we don't want anybody to see what's underneath.
Yeah.
Because Adam and Eve.
Exactly. God was trying in the garden to free us from perception.
Yeah.
And we chose it anyway. We chose it. We said, I want people, listen, what's the first thing they did when they ate the fruit? They went and hid because they was like, oh, he can see me.
Right.
She can see me. So now, I can't let him see what I look like. He been looking.
Wow.
He been looking at you what you look like the whole time.
Wow. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So because
I give you a really good one. I give you a really good one. I got truly love friend of mine. Been married I think they've been married 23 years. Mm-hmm. His wife to this day won't change clothes in front of him, won't shower in front of him. When they go to bed at night, They do so, when they're intimate, it's in the dark. She is totally. We were sitting around one day. They've been married 23 years.
I'm sitting here listening to this story going, wow, this is wild.
But it's the truth. We're sitting around one day and I said, dude, I was kidding with him because she's a beautiful woman. He's a good looking dude. Don't get me wrong. But she's a beautiful woman. And, I said, I know you must really be happy when you know what I'm saying, with y'all at home and ain't nobody around. Y'all probably run around butt naked, you know what I'm saying, because the kids are gone and everything. He said, nuh-uh. He said, well, as soon as we hit home, I don't see her until she changed. And when she changed, she got a robe on and her little thing, whatever she puts on her head. And I said, and then that's when the conversation got deep. And I said, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that not being, I just. But can I tell you something? I could see mine because I got all these cuts and bruises and, surgeries and scars and all that. And that would make me, I could understand that. But man, this couple, it just blew my mind.
But I'm going to tell you something. I think that is way more common than we might imagine. People are really not as comfortable with naked as you might imagine. Like most people, they robe up. They put the pajamas on, the nightgown, and this, that, and the other. Listen, and it's all because of what you just said. We're uncomfortable with our imperfections. Now, the good and the bad of the internet right now is that the societal stigma behind nudity, I hate to say it nudity because that sounds bad.
No, that's what it is.
But naked transparency, if you will, is kind of being torn down by the next generation a little bit. So that the body shaming that we hear a lot, you hear that conversation a lot, that's being kind of torn down a little bit so that hopefully our kids won't feel that stigma. Listen, I never understood how Donna Reed and her husband had children when his bed was on one side of the room and her bed was on the other side of the room. I was like, and she always came to bed in a big old gigantic all the way to her neck thing. I'm like, well, I mean, that makes this, Al, you ain't got to do that. That's not necessary. I don't with the monkeys, I don't understand what's happening. This is adult. So I'm saying we don't know what we want in life, and we don't know how to get there. We don't know how to be transparent enough to get there. So we're stuck in this thing, like you're talking about. That is, it's weird. To us who don't mind just being transparent, it's weird to us. Like we're saying, really, you're not gonna be naked.
Well, but we've learned a lot in with counseling several married couples. The type of stuff that Unc is talking about is that, like the trauma of the one lady that said that, certain color of pajamas is a trigger to set off in her that reminds her of a traumatic experience. So now her husband has to be concerned about the color of pajamas he wears or the color drawers, whatever he wears to bed, because it triggers his wife to something terribly traumatic. I counseled a couple that was like, they just don't have intimacy.
What?
They just don't have intimacy.
I don't understand that at all.
Because of a traumatic experience that happened to the husband.
We got to figure that out.
So they just don't.
We got to figure this out.
And I'm like, it's been years. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Let me help.
I'm gonna share this with you. This is gonna it'll probably blow you guys' mind, but I'm being real with you.
Okay.
I used to go to Puerto Rico twice a year. When I was in my rock band, and because one of the guys in the band's family owned a lot of property in Isabela. There's an island called Isabela right inside of Puerto Rico, And you can walk from Isabella, the bottom of the beach, the way it sits is one side is on the Caribbean, the other side, I forget the ocean that's there. But it kind of, what do you call it, peninsulas? Is that the way you say it?
Yeah.
Between the two.
Yeah.
You can walk to the rainforest. So we're on this beach, and half of the beach is nudist. Mm-hmm. So I'm 22. When the first year I went, and I'm 22, and we're walking, and one of the guys says, "Hey man, we gotta take our clothes off." And I said, "What do you mean we gotta take our clothes off? Take your jeans off, take your top off, so you gotta take all your clothes off." I said, "No, man." I said, "I ain't good, but they ain't gonna let you in." Well, I said, "What do you?" And so you got to go back to you're gonna walk back to where we were staying, because they ain't gonna let you pass this point. Everything past this point has to be nude. And mind you, now, I'm certainly not bragging or anything, but I was in much better physical condition at that point. You know what I'm saying? 22. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of everything. So anyway, we decided to go. I said, "Well, I'm gonna try it." So I went, but I went and got in the area by myself. And took my clothes off, and then I tried to sneak like a little rag, a little hand cloth kind of thing with me, so I could, just in case, he saw something, and you know what I'm saying. If he saw something and got happy, I was gonna have to, make sure he wasn't on display. And sure enough, as soon as I walked out, probably 20 of the prettiest women you ever seen in your life, all completely not a stitch on them. And here goes Mr. Happy. Ta-da! I'm here. And you're talking about embarrassed, man. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. But everybody around me was the same way.
Right. It was like,
so after a while, here's what happens. The reason I'm saying that is because we've over-sexualized the body so much. So all it takes is a stiff wind, and we're excited. But if you spend any time around it, it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
So the first day I went, I was embarrassed for the first couple of hours. But then after a while, it didn't mean nothing. And so every time I would go back, it was a freeing kind of thing almost. I hate this because people will think ill of me, but it really was a freeing.
No, but it's reality. Cuz said my wife was not there, couldn't have been the pretty. Oh, she must be home with you today.
He ain't never been to just Puerto Rico then, because hey, my wife's beautiful, Doc. But these, when you're in a sea of pretty, 500, 600, 1,000 women, all, yeah. Anyway, the point is, that was probably the most liberating time in my life as far as who I was, because we got to a point to where we would go there just to write. Because, you know what I'm saying? There's a mindset that happens. Mm-hmm. And I don't think most people realize, they think nudist colonies and all that are all about being naked and freaky and all this. Really, it doesn't have a whole lot to do with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not encouraging it, but I'm just saying that for me.
But you're talking about transparency. You're talking about comfort, being comfortable, the old cliche of being comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
And some of us don't even have to go that far to a nudist beach. You can't do it in your bedroom.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you'll never make it to where Unc did, because you can't even you coming out the shower going, oh yeah, let me put some and I'm sorry, but there is a freedom in it, and because I know who I am, and I'm comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And you know what? Mama Noise laughs at me because one of my favorite artists is India Arie.
Okay.
Have loved her since the first song she ever did, which was Video. I'm not the average girl in your video. My worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. I'm always gonna be NDRE. I'm just gonna be me. And she's just like, listen, I don't have the Coca-Cola bottle. I don't have this. I ain't the Instagram red bone. I'm just who I am. Right, brown skin,
Right.
Jay. That's what I'm saying. But she's comfortable in her. And that is so hard for people to be comfortable to define their life on their terms. That is such a hard thing to do. They're thanking you, Unc. They're saying the more time you spend there, the more you get used to it. Same answer I used to know. It's not the same thing.
That wasn't even
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ronald. Stop it. But no, I'm just kidding, Ryan. Be great out there. Be great. But that's what I'm saying. We not. And I guess where I was going with that, to piggyback on the brilliance of what you just shared, that permeates every aspect of our lives. Our inability to just be ourselves permeates every aspect of our lives because we don't know how to be comfortable in us anywhere. I you know what? I had a friend when I was very young challenge me, and they said, if you ever want to find out how you feel about you, go stand in your front of your mirror with no clothes on and see how long you can do it.
Wow. Yeah.
And the first time I did it, I didn't make it that long. And so I realized I wasn't real happy with me. And I was in shape at that point. Now I'm still in shape. It's just a little rounder. But what's funny is I'm more comfortable now than I've ever been. And that's what I'm saying. When you stop worrying about what people think and you decide, I like me for what I am, then you stop worrying about I'm telling you, man, the most freeing thing that you can do for your life is to free yourself from the expectation of others. That is going to give you years back to your life. Years.
Well, one of the things that they did that whole Harvard study, they found that nudists live on average 2 to 5 years longer than people who don't practice that lifestyle. Yeah. And a big part of it is exactly what you said. When you're aware of yourself, you naturally make changes that improve yourself.
Yeah.
If you see yourself in the mirror and you look long enough and you say, I don't like that about myself. The next time you go, you say, I don't like that. But eventually you start automatically making improvements.
I wonder how many people, Mama Noise, Al, I'd love to hear you guys comment to this. I wonder how many people prioritize themselves over others.
No. Well, see, that's a
programming thing.
We got into this the other day a little bit, and because we tend to automatically say, well, I did da-da-da-da. And so I don't think that's a very normal practice, although it should be. I always go back to, I can never forget going back to being on a plane. First time I flew on a plane, and they said, hey, in the event of an air emergency or whatever, put your mask on first. Put your mask on, and they didn't even say why. But because at first I thought, well, why wouldn't I help this person next to me?
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to help them and I pass it out, we both die.
Yeah.
I didn't find out until years later. And I don't even remember what airline I was on. Because I'm like you, when I was younger, they never really explained it. They just said, put your mask on first. When I got older, I think somebody must have mentioned it to the airlines and said, hey, man, y'all need to be a little more detailed in that reasoning. Yeah. And so I finally heard it when I got older. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that does make sense. If the air pressure goes down and I can't breathe, I really can't help this person because I'm fighting for my own breath. Right. So, I think that applies to everything. How can I help somebody out of trauma if I'm traumatized?
Well, isn't it amazing how much more you can do for somebody else when you already have?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're operating from a surplus versus a negative, then I can do a lot more for you. You know, that's why I have no problem with people being wealthy. I've never had a problem with wealth, but it's because to me, you can do a lot more for others.
Yeah. Mama,
Well, I said programming because, my mom had always taught me that, you should never look better than your children should always look better than you. You should always make sure your children have before you have. Don't you be going around with all this on, but your kids don't have that. And I understand that because, I don't remember not too long ago, but she said something to the effect of, you remember that time I bought y'all them new shoes and my shoes had holes in them? Like it's that's why I said it's programming, because that's what I've been told. My mother be like, don't go around with your hair looking all nice and your children's hair going around looking all crazy.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm listening to that and I'm saying, okay, some of that is a little bit different because I guess I'm not really talking about the external.
Okay.
Because some of us look great on the outside and we suck on the inside. Like we look terrible on the inside. So I don't want the false perception of looking good. I want to look good.
Well, I guess my what I meant by that is, like, for instance, like the things like moms or dads may need, stuff that we need. Now, is it the same thing that we need, but we'll go around with the raggedy this or raggedy that because you're saying, well, as long as the kids have, because you're putting the kids first because that's what you've been taught.
But how many couples have we met with, that drove up to the counseling session in the nicest vehicle and she got out carrying the nicest pocketbook, look, show my age, her nicest purse, and he got out wearing one of the nicest suits. And then when we sat down to hear they jacked up life, you were thinking, whoo, I'm glad I'm not them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can dress up trauma.
True.
I've met with kids who had everything on the outside.
Yeah.
And were jacked up on the inside.
Right.
So I think we give our kids sometimes the wrong stuff. Like we're saying, look good, man, out here. But they're miserable on the inside. And that's to me, so I understand, and that's still programming. That still goes back to what you just said. It is programming for sure.
But it's think about this, and we all have them. I had friends that, for lack of a better word, had, and I was one of the friends who didn't have. Some of my friends or supposed friends that had, they're not only were they rotten people as children, but they turned out to be rotten people in life.
Yeah.
Because they had everything.
Yeah,
and they were spoiled, and there was no moral compass because everything went the way they wanted it to go. So they never really suffered some of the stuff we suffered to build character. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. They lacked a specific type of character, and they looked great. Always had the latest shoes and great looking clothes, and the lunchbox was always better than ours, a brown paper bag or whatever, if I had lunch. So, I'm with that. But I think that we as people, what you said earlier, I think I harken back to, I've known a lot of dancers in my life. And dancers, to me, are some of the healthiest people I've ever encountered. And the reason is because they have to spend so much time in the mirror. They have to literally examine everything about themselves constantly.
Yeah.
And so they tend to, on some levels, they overcompensate, obviously, but they tend to be a lot more balanced also. And, a healthy look in the mirror to me is a good thing, but again, back to that couple, man, that one I'm saying about that's been married for 23 years. It might be longer than that, actually. This was a few years ago. We had this conversation. And Lloyd, I find myself trying to figure out how they're still married.
Yeah, that's that.
But then I also realized that they're not intimate. They don't do things that lovers do.
Yeah.
They don't. They operate more like a partnership.
Do they have children? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, yeah. But they had them real early, Matter of fact, one of the kids was born before they got married. And I think that may be part of the thing is that it always felt like to me that one of them didn't want to get married, but they felt like they had to because they had a baby coming. And this was one of those church relationships.
Yeah.
So
the
pastor, the pastor got down on them real hard when she got pregnant. And, here's the other thing, he's a minister. So.
And it goes back to what we were saying. What do you want from your life? Do you want to live right? I agree with Chad. They're more like roommates who got benefits or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we've been saying. What do you want from your life? What do you want? Like, do you want your life to be defined by other people? And that example you just gave was perfect because here, what likely happened is what you just said. A pastor told them, "Well, y'all done got you got to do you got to go do this," and now they're possibly in this loveless marriage where they're stuck with this person who they really don't want to be with. But they're trying to make it work for the kids or whatever. What's funny? Like I said, we don't often talk sports on this show, but when we do, we try to use it as the example to the bigger thing. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers just spent his whole offseason being out of love with the Green Bay Packers. And then when he came back on yesterday, he held the most incredible press conference I think I've ever heard in my entire sports life, where he just lit the Green Bay Packers up and said they don't love me. They've never shown me that they love me. I'm only here for the kids. I don't like this marriage. As soon as I got to find an opportunity to get out, I'm gonna get out. I mean, it was so bad. You were just like, oh my God, are you really airing them out like this? But when you have been traumatized by something, and see, that's where I'm going with your couple friend. What's the wall? Because somebody's gonna wake up. Somebody's gonna wake up at some point in this marriage and go, "This ain't what I want for my life. That's not it." And I'm here for the kids, and I'm trying to keep this together and make it work. But at some point, people are going. Let me tell you something. I got a friend who his mom one day woke up. She had stayed as long as she could, but her baby, her youngest baby, got 17, and she got out and said, "Hey, this ain't what I want. It has never been what I want." And she got out.